Hello, today we'll be presenting the causes of the Civil War, created by Brie Marley and none other than Mr. Robbie Russo. First up is the Missouri Compromise. The Missouri Compromise was a solution that Henry Clay came up with in order to balance free and slave states in the United States, giving both North and South equal representation in the United States government. The compromise stated that Missouri would be added as a slave state and Maine would become a free state. Nullification is the argument that states have the right to ignore federal laws and that they think they are unfair. The nullification crisis exposed sex relations between the states and the national government. When Congress passed the high tariff in 1832, Southerners claimed state rights and threatened to nullify the tariff. Nat Turner's Rebellion was a slave rebellion that took place in Virginia during August of 1831. Led by Nat Turner, slaves killed 55 to 65 people, at least 55 of the people being white. Manifest Destiny. In the 1840s, Manifest Destiny was defined by westward expansion to the west, like land jobs and for things like land jobs and new opportunities. Territorial expansion between Texas and Mexico, as well as the gold rush in California, were all important that they occurred during the era of the Manifest Destiny. The Wilmot Proviso was a law passed in 1841 that proposed to outlaw all slaves from the lands claimed in the Mexican Cession. This later led to the Compromise of 1850. The Free Soil Party was a political party formed in the 1800s by Martin Van Buren. The idea of the party was to keep slavery from spreading west. Abraham Lincoln ended up joining the Free Soil Party and tried to abolish slavery. Next is the Compromise of 1850 with all four parts. This compromise in 1850, made by Henry Clay, made California enter as a free state and allowed Utah and New Mexico territories to vote with either free or slaves, and it ended the slave trade in Washington, D.C., and it called for a stronger fugitives slave law. William Lloyd Garrison, known for the Liberator, was a prominent abolitionist. He called for immediate freedom of slaves and the end of political ties between the North and the South. The Grimke sisters, Sarah Moore and Angelina Emily, were the first female advocates of abolition and women's rights. They founded the Seneca Falls Convention. Harriet Beecher Stowe, known for her book Uncle Tom's Cabin, who showed the realities of slavery, was an American abolitionist. Harriet Tubman was best known for the Underground Railroad that she used to free hundreds of slaves from their slave owners into the North. The Kansas-Nebraska Act was passed in 1854 and allowed citizens of Kansas and Nebraska to vote for or against slavery within the borders. Although this law was passed, many people from the state of Missouri crossed the border and would illegally vote. This act led up to a mini-war known as Bleeding Kansas, which is our next slide. After the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854, Bleeding Kansas was a term to describe a period of violence during the settling of the Kansas Territory after it was announced as a slave state, which people in people living in Kansas did not vote for slavery. On the 20th of March, 1854, the Republican Party was formed, ran by the man 16th Abraham Lincoln. The Dred Scott versus Sanford, also known as the Dred Scott case, was an important decision by the United States Supreme Court. Dred Scott believed he was in a free state, and he said he should be free. The court ruled against him because slaves were not seen as people, but seen as property. That was pretty stupid. The Lincoln-Douglas debates were a series of debates between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas concerning slavery. The debates had helped and secured Abraham's election later in 1860 when he became the 16th president. On the 16th of October 1859, John Brown and 18 other men led an unsuccessful raid on a federal armory at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, in an attempt to free slaves from their slave owners. On the 6th of November of 1860, Abraham Lincoln became the 16th President of the United States of America with the help of Northern people without a single Southern voter. That is huge. On the 20th of December 1860, South Carolina became first state to secede from the Union. Other southern states, including North Carolina, Georgia, and others, soon followed. The decision to secede was made after John Brown's raids and Lincoln's election, leaving the South fearful of the abolishment of slavery. And last but not least, the shots fired at Fort Sumter happened near Charleston, South Carolina, and was bombed by the Confederate States Army. Returned gunfighter by the United States Army, and this was officially the start of the Civil War. And that will end this video.